Can old bikes come back from the grave? Are pinups a distraction or an inspiration? Who is Elvis the Wheelie King? Kickstands up, hit it.
iKuztom. America's sexiest custom bikes.
I'm CC Bobber, and this is iKuztom. We've all heard the expression, ghost in the machine, but what if it isn't a ghost at all? Suppose the bike has a soul.
In our extensive research, we have found that it takes quite a few years for a motorcycle to develop its own soul. But once the bike's soul has developed, it is there to stay.
That's right, Doctor. Even through years of rain, rust, neglect, the true spirit of a bike simply doesn't die. Let's go visit the magicians at Atlantis Motorsports. Not only are they skilled, but also a lot of fun to hang out with.
We're in the middle of an ocean of rusted metal, junk to many people, but to us, this is the future. We bring these back to life.
The majority of old bikes, that are over 30 years have been tampered with, touched, or modified partially or if any. So it kind of leaves the door open to dig in and change things up. It's fun because it's taking an old bike and recycling it. These old bikes still have a lot of character to them. Having this shop around for the last 4 or 5 years, I've acquired a taste for them. And it's just through influence, just having them around and seeing what they can do.
These things were literally left for dead. But they come to us and we bring life back. It's almost like magic sometimes.
John, the motor's ready there. Hey John, hey John, the motor's done. The magic cherry. John, the motor's done. The magic fairy, I think toucher. I think it's ready to put into the motor. Into the frame. John, the motor's ready. I think the magic fairy toucher, dude. Yeah, she's done.
But so I fell in love with this kind of style, old school thumper bike, very simple. It's a kickstart, nothing fancy about it, but I just think it's so elegant in its simplicity. And so now you're going to see the story of how this bike came to life.
SR500 motor, which has been rebuilt, 1979. It puts about 27 horsepower. All custom parts, some parts from Italy, some parts from Japan. So I make it happen in 10 days. That's the time we have estimated. Polish head. The motor's been disassembled completely and been sent polished. You can see it's a nice job they did. Those wheels are for XT500. They actually is a dirt bike because this bike originally comes with mag wheels. It's gonna be a cafe racer, all custom parts. The tank is aluminum tank. It's so thin it feels like a tin foil. These seats came straight from Japan for the guys that manufacture. Super light. I will say estimate maybe like 2 pounds. And it has that cone shape, so it makes it look vintage. See, this is the old light, more conventional, 80s style. And you can see that looks more vintage, like 50s, 60s.
I saw this motorcycle just parked against the curb like nothing I'd ever seen before. Aluminum polished tank, no name on it, no brand. I started taking pictures of it. Guy walked up next to me and started talking to me about the bike, and I realized he knew an awful lot about the bike. I finally said, "Is this your bike?" And he said, "Yeah, it is." And this guy that I was talking to turned out to be Orlando Bloom.
That tank, it costs $3,000. Just the tank. This bike is so famous in Japan. The Japanese people make special stuff for this bike. All this is custom built. See these fenders? They're like, I don't know, I can explain. It's so light. It's gonna be fast. This motor, it has 160 PSI. The motor's tits. I'm like a doctor of bikes. I am. Beautiful, dude. It's just a beautiful bike. This is my passion. I mean, these are like my babies. For me, the silver and black is the best combination for bike. It's the best. Like I said, it's super custom. The only thing we're using from the bike is just the frame, the shocks, the controls, and the brake levers. That's it. And the motor. It's only one pipe. This is a special build for SR500, and it's super loud. You can imagine 500 cc's in a single piston. It is loud. So literally it goes like this, and it holds actually right there. And I disassembled the whole bike myself, and I put it back together again. I mean, it's a lot of work, but yeah, it's my magic, because I put the magic on the bikes. I am the fairy, yeah, I am. I don't have that little thing, but yeah, I am.
Coming up, pinups, test rides, and aluminum tanks.
iKuztom.
The staple in American garages is, of course, the pinup girl. The celebration of these curvy beauties goes back to the late 1800s. Always a source of inspiration. Get those hormones flowing. Come on now, boys. Get those tools out. Build me something sexy. Make it look as good as this. And if you can't, I don't want it. I don't need it. Come on. Give me a little bit of love, a lot of sugar, and make it sizzle.
Pin-up girls in the garage, inspiration, distraction. It's an inspiration.
It could be a distraction if you're busy, or it could be an enjoyment.
Wow, they're all an inspiration.
Fast bikes, hot women.
From the 1930s, when they probably started doing it, maybe even more, to today.
Cold beer and sunshine.
Bike babes are bitching. A function? Sexy.
Of course, when you're running around with a bike and you're a single man, there's going to be women involved also.
The pinup girls is part of the ingredients of the biker world.
I've noticed a lot of them use pinup girls as inspiration. And you know something? Good for you.
It's like being a caveman.
Oh, you know what? Forget the pretty girls. It's all about puppy dogs, kittens, and sunsets.
It doesn't matter what woman you are. You're on a bike, you're still turning heads. And, you know, maybe that makes you feel like that chick on the poster.
iKuztom.
Wow! Woo! That's a whole lot of inspiring distractions. Let's go back up to Atlantis and see how the SR500 is coming along.
Yeah, we're really excited about the SR500 job. It's for a very special client of ours. Yeah, going back to like custom work, and sometimes the journey's not a 100% smooth, straight route. Well, these SR500s, apparently they're really big in Japan. The scene in Japan's been going on for many years, and it's kind of like bleeding over to the US now. See how this baby runs. And you get a lot of seasoned riders choosing the SR500 as the stock bike to build into these cafe racers. We're ready for test ride number 2. We just finished putting the master cylinder on, new setup, tighten a few hardware up, got some grips on her now. See how this baby rolls again. Got to ride her a few times before we give her back to our customer. All right, we'll be right back. Because custom jobs, they don't always fit together right away. So basically the hub that on the front wheel doesn't support the speedo gear, and it doesn't match the Speedo that he has. So what we're doing is we're gonna source out an XS650 Yamaha front wheel. We're gonna take all the spokes off, break it down to the hub, send it out to get polished, put the hub back on, get the cable on there, and get her out of here. That's a good example of a detail we ran into. Nice run, bike didn't turn off, good power band, really happy about the work. The advantage of having Japan go through styles is that they produce a lot of aftermarket products that, you know, guys like us in LA can use that have already been tested, been used. So it makes it a lot easier for builders like us, you know. Pretty much, it's always good to keep a good relationship and
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I hate to bug you in the interview, but the staff wants to know what time we're getting beer.
You know, that's very important for us. I think we're doing beer right now, right after this interview.
Let's shut the shop down and get beer.
I think that's a good call.
Pretty cool.
This fabulous aluminum tank is from a place called iKuztom Stinky House in Japan, outside of Tokyo, I believe. We're all handmade, spectacular. And the handlebars, the clip-ons are Italian Tomasellis. The rear sets are made from a guy in North Carolina. Came with mag wheels on it, and I wanted the spoke look. Literally everything other than the engine and the frame is new on the bike.
Fantastic. Love it. I gotta get a picture, Dave. Couldn't be better.
iKuztom.
Here's my little helper, little Gonzalo, and you can see he has a wrench on his hand. And he helped me with a little stuff, you know, like some bolts that I can reach to it. So he goes scroll down, all the way down, and try to wrench it and stuff like that. So yeah, he's my son, technically.
Coming up, laughing with Lexi and Elvis the Wheelie King.
Here's one about getting your priorities in order. Two young sport bikers were at the local bike night. One had a new bike. The friend said, "Nice bike. How much?" It was free. Wow, how did you get it for free? Yesterday, a beautiful girl rode up on this bike. She took off all her clothes and told me that I could have anything I wanted. Good move. Her clothes wouldn't have fit you anyways.
Man, she cracks me up. Now here's a whole different type of uniqueness. Not just a unique bike, but a unique man. Check it out.
I love it. It's about the man and the bike. I've never looked at it as far as like maybe street acrobatics, but it definitely does take some skill. Everything you do in life, you have to perfect if you want to get good at it. That rush, that sensation that you just don't get anywhere else. I get this rage, this feeling of adrenaline when I'm about to pull the wheelie, and then when I'm in the wheelie, you know, I'm just have this crazy rush. It's unlike anything else, unlike just riding normal, and that's why I continue to do it. So they call me the Wheelie King. My nickname is Elvis, and I was managing the Deer Lodge up in Ojai, California, for quite some time. And I just put on this wheelie show, and everyone just started calling me Elvis all of a sudden. And, you know, it's just one of the things that I like to do on my bike. It's an expression, it's just who I am, and that's what I'm known for. And so when I ride, I just ride crazy. And I do wheelies at Neptune's Net, Deer Lodge, the Rock Store, probably every hot spot that most bikers go to in Southern California. I'm going to continue to do it until the wheels fall off, I guess. You really have to know what you're doing on the Harley in order to pull this wheelie and do what I do. I can now say that I am definitely an expert, but it's taken me at least up to 8 years to become an expert in what I do. Some think I'm a little bit loud. I'ma say I'm a little bit crazy. Half the time I don't know myself, but you're the only one that gets me, baby. It's important to have an audience because they give you that extra push, but sometimes that extra push is a little too much. People in general want to see fear. They want to push the envelope when they're not doing it. They want more, they want more. I mean, you want to touch danger yourself, but what the audience really looks for is you to push the envelope even further. But there's always somebody watching, and they always go, "What was that?"
Oh man, that Elvis. I think I better give him a shout. Hey Elvis, don't you think you should play it a little safer out there?
Play it safe? The Wheelie King? Get lost. They will know me, and they will say, "That was Elvis, the Wheelie King," and that's really cool.
Coming up, curve appreciation and Elvis's wild and wacky bike.
iKuztom.
Maybe you didn't know, but Elvis is a famous rock singer that actually appeared on American Idol. Moving all the way up to the top 20 this week, here he is with his song, Born in the 80s.
iKuztom.
And I always saw like the old 70s movies with the Hells Angels and stuff, and how they used to customize their bikes, and I always said, like, what is that? What kind of bike is that? And everyone always said it was like a 75 Sportster. In my garage here, I made my fenders. This is fiberglass. Either you have a girl on you, on your back, or you want one to hold. So I got these shifter levers here that are in the shape of a lady, so I can always have something at my fingertips. One of the things I've always wanted was the seat from Easy Rider. So I went and I met this guy, Larry Hooper, up in Ojai. I said, I heard you're the guy that made the original seat for Easy Rider. And he's like, yeah. So I said, would you make me a seat for my bike? And he did. But the coolest thing about my bike, and the thing that kind of gets me the most looks, is my pipes. I called upon many of the motorcycle shops, and they all told me I was crazy. I said I wanted pipes that came alongside of my sissy bar. Whenever someone sees my bike and they see these pipes, they know exactly whose bike it is. This is from like a 1940s Ford truck. All these little things I found and put together in my own head that just make my bike the way it is, and it's just kind of, it's me. There are some scrapes and bumps on it, but I don't change out the chrome. I don't want to change out the chrome. This is all part of the history of my bike, and you know, rides I've been on, falls I've taken.
Hey Elvis, I wanted to warn you about a little bacon in the road coming up around the corner.
There's a sexy cop. I'll make sure I look out for her.
We promise to be bad if you promise to be bad. See you next time. Peace.
Coming up on future episodes of iKuztom, rat bikes, monster bikes, cafe racers, bobbers, Mayan mystery bikes, lion heads and eagles, samurai bikes, and much, much more. Y'all come back now.